Everybody, it's Marina here from the Bowcatcher Salon. During the coronavirus lockdown, it's impossible for you to come to the salon to see us, so we thought we would try to come to you. This is going to be the first in a series of videos which we hope will help you be able to manage your hair care at home. First thing we're going to talk about today is fringe trims. So over the past few days, several people have messaged me asking me to help them figure out how to cut their fringe. It's getting in their eyes, it's out of shape, they need some help. So we're going to look at that today, and I'll tell you the best ways that you can do it. First thing you're going to need is to make sure you've got a pair of scissors to hand that are suitable. If you don't have hairdressing scissors at home, which most people don't, you might want to try to find a pair of nail scissors, something like this. You want something that's small and very sharp, because things like this, your regular craft or kitchen scissors, are going to be not sharp enough and too unwieldy. We also don't want to cut a lot of hair at one time. So go and find your little small sharp scissors and let's get into it. So the first thing that you want to do is, with wet hair, just your fringe can be wet, separate out the part of the hair that is going to be the fringe, or the fringe that you've already got. Get rid of the long pieces of hair that don't belong in there, and try to make a good, strong perimeter line that's going to be the demarcation of your fringe. The other pieces you can just secure back with the rest of your hair. The next step is to blow dry the hair before you cut the fringe. We never cut fringes wet because the hair shrinks. So give it a nice blow dry around a brush so that you get an approximation of the natural volume that's in there. And so you've got the fringe sitting where it should do if it were cut properly. Once your fringe is dry, you might decide at this point that you don't even want to cut it. It's a good idea to have a look at the fringe, maybe try a little plaiting, turning it back on itself with a little curl in it and pinning it. If you like the way that's looking, then maybe you don't want to cut it at all, and this is a good time to grow out your fringe. Your next step is to re-look at your perimeter line and section the fringe into pieces of hair that are comfortable for you to hold. I usually would put it into at least 2 pieces. If you have a thicker fringe, make it 3. Grasp the fringe hair with 2 fingers, pull it down straight, but then push it back up so that you're not pulling against the root. And this is when you decide exactly how much you're going to cut. We always start right in the center and work out from the center to each side. After the first cut that you've done in the center and working out to the sides, that's your guideline. So don't recut into that. Don't keep going. Just use that, because remember, it's going to shrink. Even though the hair is already dry, it is going to draw back up when you let go of it. So start with a little, work out to the sides, and then choose your next section. When you pull down the next part of the hair, you'll have a guideline to work with. Try to be where there's light behind you or light in front of you so that you can see through and cut the next section of hair straight on top of where you've cut the first section of hair. You can also point cut like this into it, which will make a softer blunt line. Again, you start in the middle and work out to the sides. When you're doing the side parts you have to angle your hand so that you're not cutting up into the corners. So if you watch, I bring that down straight and flat. I've got a very long piece there I have to put away. Pull the hair down and then angle your scissors and your hand so that you're keeping those edges a little bit longer than the center. Once you've done all of that, pull everything down together and have a look at your line. Usually you'll have a little bit on one side that's longer. That's the side of your cutting hand. So if you're right-handed, it'll be on the right. If you're left-handed, it'll be on the left. Use your scissors and point cut the difference so that the line is much more straight across, but all the hair is still pulled to the center while you do that. Comb everything down, have a little look at where it's sitting. If you feel like you need a little bit more, you could start back from the beginning. But if you're happy with the length where it's sitting, then we'll just go through and do a little bit of fine cleaning up. If you're feeling really comfortable with the cut that you've done so far, you can pop your scissors in through the hair without closing them because you don't want to cut off this huge chunk of hair, and just do a little bit of pushing the scissors down through the hair. This will take out a tiny, tiny bit of really fine hair so that it's slightly texturized, and it'll sort of debulk it. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that part, don't worry, you don't need to. Right, that's the end of your fringe trim. You just need to go back through with your blow dryer again. Make sure that you're happy with how everything's sitting. If you're not, if you need a little bit more cut, just do tiny, tiny bits at a time because you've already taken off what you need to, and it's just refinement now. When you're finished, you may find that there's long pieces to the side. Don't cut those. Just leave them alone. They belong where they are, and they're not part of your fringe. Just remember, your fringe is always going to shrink up a little bit, so cutting less is more. I hope that you found that helpful, and if you could let us know below in the comments what you'd like to see, we'll try to get a video of that done for you as well. Look forward to seeing you next time.